Hey guys, my name is Royang Ying. So today I'm going to talk about how is Huawei influencing China and why is the US taken as a threat. So this is a logo of Huawei. What or who is Huawei? Let me give you a brief introduction on Huawei. In the past few years, Ren Zhengfei, the CEO of Huawei, and his Huawei have become the household names due to the sudden rise of Huawei's mobile phones. Although many Chinese still have the impression of Huawei as a mobile phone brand, Huawei is not only a mobile phone business, but also one of the world's leading telecom companies, providing telecom equipment and communication equipment for many countries. It is a leader of 5G communication equipment in the world. It was officially registered in 1987 and locates in Shenzhen, China, which is in Guangdong province. In 2013, Huawei surpassed Ericsson, the world's largest telecom equipment manufacturer, and ranked 315th in Fortune 500. Huawei's products and solutions have been applied in more than 170 countries around the world, serving 45 of the world's top 50 operators and one-third of the world's population. It is well known for its 5G technology now globally. In 2020, it ranked 49th in Fortune 500. As you can tell from 2013, it made a big step. So this is a picture of the headquarters of Huawei in Shenzhen. Two years ago, during the summer, I actually got a chance to visit the headquarters of Huawei in Shenzhen. Due to some privacy issues, I didn't get a chance to, actually walk into a lot of buildings. But just by sightseeing, I can tell you that Huawei, the headquarters is amazing. What does Huawei mean for China? So what Huawei represents is no longer a pure enterprise, but a pool of carrying, exerting, and storing the comprehensive strength of Chinese talents, science and technology, education, and so on. In 2019, looking at all of the biggest companies in China, Huawei hired 189 employees who are extremely talented from the best universities of China, such as Tsinghua and Beida. So what's unique was that it is the most comparing to other big companies like Tencent and Alibaba. The number was even the combination of those two companies. So if Huawei failed in the international market, it could cause the ability of Chinese enterprises to attract domestic top science and engineering talents. It will suffer a heavy loss or even face extinction. It can also be said China has issued so many administrative policies to attract high-tech talents, which is far more effective than establishing a technology company like Huawei. Of course, each has its own role, but if there is not enough excellent enterprises, the attraction to scientific and technological talents will certainly not be sustainable. Many people may say that if Huawei fails, there are still other enterprises. Please note that these talents of science and technology are not simply choosing Huawei because of their high salary, many of which are based on Huawei's international market and R&D, which stands for research and development system requirements. This demand provides a different opportunity for one's vision and potential growth. And let's look at Huawei's overseas revenue. It once accounted for nearly 70%. What does that mean? Let's still compare that with Tencent and Alibaba. The two companies' overseas revenues combination was still lower than Huawei's overseas revenue. So Huawei stands for a very, very crucial role for China. So when I was in high school living with my host parents, whenever I ask them about Huawei, they barely knew everything. Not just because they did not focus on or any overseas brands, but also because the United States restricted Huawei seriously. So in May 2019, United States President Donald Trump announced that Huawei, along with several other Chinese companies, was now on something called the Entity List. Companies on this list are unable to do business with any organization that operates in the United States. It is a decision that effectively banned the company from buying parts and components from US companies without US government approval. Under the order, Huawei needs a US government license to buy components from US suppliers. Also, when we talk about Huawei, the arrest of Meng Wanzhou is also something that we have to know. So the Canadian authorities arrested Huawei's chief financial officer and vice chairwoman, who is also the daughter of company CEO. Meng Wanzhou was charged with conspiracy to defraud multiple international institutions based on allegation that Huawei had violated sanctions against Iran by misrepresenting a Huawei subsidiary as a separate company in order to evade sanctions. Meng's arrest came at a crucial moment in the evolving trade tensions between the US and China, in which both countries have instituted tariffs and on various trade goods. US suspicions regarding Huawei predated the current trade dispute. From my own perspective, I think I'm very sorry for Meng Wanzhou's arrest, because I think she actually became a chip for the two biggest countries in the world to negotiate. So what's the reason behind, or what's the motivation for the United States to restrict Huawei? The US government included Huawei in the Department of Commerce's entity list due to security concerns, as Washington believes that the Chinese government uses Huawei's equipment for spying purposes. However, there is no actual hard evidence to prove that. Most importantly, it is to curb and reduce China's globalization in the field of science and technology, to lock China in the field of middle and low-end processing forever, and be unable to make more profits in the international market, so as to enter the middle income trap and thoroughly eliminate China's strategic challenges to all kinds of US hegemony. In short, I just think that, you know, the actual motivation behind this was to stop the spread, stop the spread from Huawei, since Huawei's 5G and other high-tech technologies are just growing worldwide. So the US is just trying to stop the business from China and other countries that may affect the US growth in the future. And that's it. Thanks for watching. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact. That's the email. Thank you.